The rain poured hard against the windows. In a tall office, a young woman named Evelyn Reed sat very still. Across from her, a serious man in a dark suit, Mr. Thorne, spoke in a calm, deep voice. "Evelyn, your grandmother, Eleanor Reed, left you something big. Everything she owned, Blackwood Manor, her fortune, her land, it's all yours. But there's one condition: you must live in the manor for 30 days, alone, and you must never open the door at the end of the hallway on the top floor." Evelyn blinked. Everything? Her voice was small and shaky. She hadn't spoken to her grandmother in years. After her mother died, her grandma stopped writing letters or answering calls. Why would she leave her everything now, and why this strange rule? Why me? Why now? What's behind that door? She remembered visiting Blackwood Manor as a child, a giant house with tall stone walls and windows like angry eyes, cold, creepy, silent. Mr. Thorne folded his hands. "The rules are simple. Stay for 30 days. Don't open that door. If you do, the inheritance goes to someone else." 2 weeks later, Evelyn drove through the storm to the manor. The iron gates creaked open slowly. The house was bigger than she remembered. Dark stone, cracked windows, and broken statues of monsters on the roof. The place felt haunted. Inside, it smelled of damp wood and metal. Dust floated in the air. Old portraits stared at her from the walls. The floors groaned under every step. And though she was alone, she didn't feel alone. The first few days were strange but quiet. Evelyn explored the massive library, the cold, empty kitchen, the dusty bedrooms. She avoided the top floor. But on the third night, during a storm, the sound came from above. She froze in her bed. Was it rats? The old house shifting? The sounds returned every night, sometimes like footsteps, other times like whispers in the walls. A music box played by itself. She heard crying. Or was it laughter? She started to feel afraid, really afraid. On the 7th day, Evelyn finally went upstairs. The hallway on the top floor was cold, unnaturally cold. At the very end stood the door. It was huge, dark, and had no handle, only a large iron lock. Strange symbols were carved all over it, curving lines and twisted shapes that made her head hurt when she looked too long. She backed away quickly. Something behind the door felt alive. Later in the library, she found a loose brick behind the fireplace. Inside was a small metal box with a key taped underneath. Inside the box, an old photo of a younger Eleanor smiling beside a kind-faced man. A letter addressed to Evelyn. "Dear Evelyn, if you're reading this, I'm gone. You probably think I was cold. Maybe I was. The truth is, our family has dark secrets. The man in the photo is Thomas, your grandfather. You were told he died in a war. That was a lie. He went through that door, and he never came back. He believed in something called old magic, a kind our ancestors used. He wanted to study it, control it. He built a room over land that wasn't empty. Something was under it. Something hungry. One stormy night he entered that room. We heard screams. When we opened the door, he was gone. Just burn marks. His book was open to those strange carvings. Whatever it was, it had eaten. We sealed the door. I carved the symbols to hold the thing back. They work, but only if someone is living in the house, alone. That's why I left it to you with this rule. Stay 30 days, make the seals strong again. Do not open the door, no matter what you hear, even if you hear my voice, or Thomas's, or your mother's. It lies, it tricks. I'm sorry, I was too scared. Please be braver than me. Find the joy I couldn't. Love, Grandma Eleanor." Evelyn now understood. The house wasn't haunted. It was guarding something. The next nights were terrifying. The door would glow faint blue. The whispers turned to angry voices. Paintings moved slightly when she wasn't looking. Her reflection didn't always match her movements. She barely slept. She kept the letter close at all times. On the 29th night, The storm outside was the loudest yet. The voice came just after midnight, software gentle. "Evelyn," it was her mother's voice. "Evelyn, it's so dark. Please, I'm trapped. Open the door, sweetheart. Let me out." Tears filled Evelyn's eyes. Her heart broke. She missed her mother every day. She stood at the bottom of the stairs, shaking. Was it real? "Maybe Grandma was wrong," she whispered. But the voice came again, this time desperate. "Evelyn, I'm scared. I'm cold. Please, baby, help me." Evelyn climbed the stairs. The door glowed bright blue. The carvings pulsed. The air was ice cold. The voice, so close now. "Now, Evelyn, open it. Just a little, just one turn." She reached for the lock. But then she felt something, a burning in her chest, not from fear, from truth. She looked down at the locket she wore, the one with her mother's picture. Her real mother, warm, loving, safe. This voice was not her. She stepped back. "You're not my mother!" She shouted it so loud, it echoed through the house. A scream shook the walls. Not human, not an animal, a roar of pure rage. The blue light exploded. The door shook violently. Wood splintered. The ground trembled. Evelyn ran down the stairs into the library, pushing a chair against the door. The howling continued for hours. Then finally, silence. The next morning, the air felt different. The carvings on the door were now dark and cold. Whatever was behind it was quiet again. At noon, Mr. Thorne returned. He saw her pale face, the tired eyes, but he said nothing. "It's done, Miss Reed. The house and fortune are yours." Evelyn didn't hesitate. "Destroy it, burn it to the ground, and then use every dollar to build something good. Name it after my mother and grandmother. Help people who feel lost. Help them find light." Evelyn left Blackwood Manor without looking back. In her rearview mirror, the giant house disappeared behind the trees. The evil had been stopped. The secrets would not spread. She had been tested, and she had won. The real gift wasn't money or property. It was courage, truth, and the chance to build a brighter future. And somewhere, deep in her heart, she knew her mother and grandmother were proud.